Yeah, now it's up.
There we go. Do I start or do you want to start? Should I put my headphones back in? I don't know if I look unprofessional or professional. If I keep looking
Welcome
down,
to A1B1. I'm Jake. This is
a dog
fucking
barking.
fucking dogs. Fucking dogs just ruining everything.
It's all right. We'll start again. Are you ready?
No, wait, leave that. That's perfect. No, that's perfect.
All right. I don't mind if there's a few intros to this. Welcome to A1B1 podcast. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Jake.
I'm a British citizen.
And I'm an Australian / British citizen
There we
/ Kiwi citizen. If you want to get technical.
Jeez, you are places.
I have all the connections, mate. All the connections.
It's crazy. I've just got America and Wales.
Well, I mean, technically, Australian and Kiwi is practically the same thing. So,
is that right though? Because if you're Australian,
arguably, I don't need a New Zealand passport because I can go into New Zealand with my Australian passport.
And it's vice versa.
Yeah.
And can you work in the same place?
I think so. I think it's basically just a UK-Europe thing. You can just fuck off over, work, live, do whatever.
It's not a UK-Europe thing anymore with Brexit.
Well, it used to be a UK-Europe thing.
It is. So before we get into things, I know we just went into who we are right there. I'd like to say to probably the two viewers that we might have, which is possibly Ahmed. 100% Ahmed's going to be listening to this, and probably some other people that I've discussed this with. This is a pilot podcast. This isn't a professional thing. Considering that we're probably, over 5,000 miles away? Is that an understatement?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more... in miles, I think it's more 12, 13, 14,000.
All right, hopefully I will now be showing, as I'm saying this, Cardiff, where I'm not currently in. I'm in somewhere I'm not going to disclose because I don't want to give away my location just in case. So I'm just going to say, for sake, I'm in Cardiff and you're in Sydney.
Okay, that's very offensive, but sure.
Right, I know you're a little bit
north. Actually,
no,
I'm from Newcastle. Newcastle.
Is that a big enough city? I don't want to give away, I don't want to say that I'm from I'm going to bleep that. Tyler, censor my mouth in edit.
I mean, Newcastle is closer than Sydney, and it's basically the same. It's got its own airport. It's pretty good.
So when you fly from Heathrow, do you go into Sydney or do you go into Newcastle?
You go into Sydney, but you could probably fly into Newcastle, but you might have to stop somewhere first.
That makes sense.
So, if I lived in Newcastle, I'd probably fly to Sydney, then fly to Brisbane, or fly to Newcastle, or say fly to Perth and then fly to Newcastle or something.
If anyone doesn't know this, we're friends. I know you're probably thinking as a viewer, why are you, Tyler, as a friend, asking another friend questions like this? I haven't spoken to Jake, well, I call him Walshy, we haven't seen each other since probably about June last year.
I think before that.
Possibly.
I know, because I did see you when I came to Cardiff before fucking off to Australia.
Yes, because 2 years ago, if you guys know the channel that much, I moved to England 2 years ago, and me and Walsh have known each other. Hey. We've known each other for how long? I don't know.
Probably 2.
It's been longer. I've been in Canterbury 2 years. This is how we were going to realize. Oh shit. Well, I've known
maybe
Will.
3 then, because I moved to Wales at the end of 2017, started 2018. Basically, my first shift at Walkabout was New Year's on 2017, going into 2018.
And you broke your leg. And that's how we met.
Fractured my foot. That's when we probably started becoming friends, after I fractured my foot.
Yeah.
Somehow or another.
Which is great, because this brings me on to my, I'm looking at for the views, I have, a list of some things. Also, I drew, I was going to draw a penis, then I drew a question mark.
As you do.
Not much on a notes page. But my next question is, how do we know each other? I mentioned this if you saw the trailer thing for this podcast, or talk show. I'm not sure because a podcast is live, a talk show is post edit, which I think this is going to be post edit. Anyway, how do we know each other? We've known each other for a few years. Well, she's snorting the best of stuff.
I don't know how this works. Okay.
Okay. What is that? What have you got in your hand?
This is nasal mist to help with hay fever and allergies and shit. And it's stuff that I take on the reg, but this is a new one, so
it's quite different. That's fair enough. What?
Oh, it keeps going. Oh, okay.
I just dropped my pen. You gotta look for my pen. I can edit jump cuts and stuff, so if you don't want this, it's fine.
I mean, I found it to be pretty funny.
That's fine.
I don't know if anyone else will find it funny, but
I'm not sure. This is like a podcast and a talk show, two different things.
Are they?
Yeah. I mean, if we record for like half hour, I reckon I can get like 15, 20 minutes in. Oh, which would be great. But bringing it back to how we know each other. I met you probably about 3 years ago when you did fracture your leg. It's got to be longer than that. I don't know. In my head, I've known you longer than that.
Well, considering it's 2020 now, and I moved there in 2018, it can't have been more than 2 years. It'd probably be near enough 2.5. Because I was only in the UK for a grand total of 3 years.
When did I move out of Cardiff? I must have met you just before.
Yeah, I think we met through Will. Yeah, no,
I definitely met through Will because
we met through Will. I think.
Oh, but post by Will.
I think maybe over
your friend.
I think maybe over your like Christmas break or something. I think you might have come back to Cardiff for the Christmas break.
Oh no, I was when we met. I was living in Wales because I introduced you to little Joe that I knew from college when I was living in Wales, and I remember the summer where I saved his life.
On like a side note, real quick, after taking that, it's so good to be able to like breathe properly.
That's good. I can hear it. I'm actually like, not so clogged up. Because I'm in the UK right now, which was one of my starting things, was like talk about the time. Currently, my time it is about 3:10 in the morning, and in Sydney, your time, I believe, it's about 12:10 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this podcast or talk show, not undecided. I called it a podcast. It might come into a talk show. This could be very hard to
coordinate. What's the difference between the two, though? What's the difference between the two?
Well, I was watching a talk show, well, a podcast telling their views they were a talk show, and I believe the difference between the two is a podcast is live and unedited, and a talk show is people talking with cuts and jump cuts, and even by now in this talk show podcast, I've already edited in where I am in the world compared to where you are in the world, which is a big difference.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's more of a talk show, but it's more of a podcast because I think a talk show is with other people, not just two. So
that is true. I
don't know.
I keep dropping my pen.
This next thing I'm about to take is a puffer, but it looks like a dildo. Look at that.
What's that for? I didn't know you took hay fever stuff personally.
This is to help me breathe. So because with my asthma, if I don't take this, my breathing is so much worse than like what it is. I don't know if you can hear this, but I am slightly started to struggle.
I can hear it nasally, back of the throat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you like inhale it just like you would a cigarette.
Pretty much, just like a normal puffer.
Not like I've ever smoken a cigarette. Okay, people. That probably shouldn't be distracting you.
So yeah, that's my daily routine.
That's
Medicine,
fine.
nasal, puffer.
So
Love it.
my friend is a drug addict.
Yeah, I am the drug addict. I've got way too many scripts in there to save my life.
At least you got water. I have my nice little shaker with a little bit of juice in the bottom.
I can't remember the last time I had a protein shake. I think it might have been when I was actually at the gym.
Oh, dude, let's not talk about gym.
Yeah, why are you just as salty about it?
I right. This is the perfect segue into our sponsor. No, I'm kidding. We don't have a sponsor, but a perfect segue into how things COVID-19 related, because we're obviously in two different countries, the other side of the world, which isn't like a understatement. You're in Australia, I'm in the UK. In fact, I've got a flag here representing you, which is the Australian flag, which I can move it. That's my
And
towel.
yeah, I
All
don't even
right.
have an Australian flag, so what does that say about me?
So no, I'm a man of many cultures with my background, I guess. But COVID-19, talk about gyms closing down and things. In the UK right now, we have a very, well, if I put it on screen, a very cut list. You can only go out for essential shops. If you're a non-essential worker, you can't go out, and you can only go out once a day for daily exercise, and you must stay 2 meters away from each other. There was talks a few days ago about having face masks in public, but I don't know how that could be implemented in the UK, especially that I know in my household we don't own face masks. And if they're telling us that it's compulsory to wear them when you're at shops, I don't, well, I can't shop and nor can my family. So I don't think they're going to do that quite yet. But,
Unless they're going to supply them all to everyone.
which is not great. But that was the up in Scotland. I'm not sure if many
Oh,
people.
was that?
Yes, it was.
Oh, fucking hell, here we go.
But then there's a difference between the Welsh government and the. Well, all right, I'm very much a patriotic Welsh boy, even though I sound like I'm from England. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot more to this, and if our views are here for a long time, then they might just understand why I'm so patriotic for Wales and why I sound so English or not English, a little bit between American English, Welsh, just a mixture of culture. However, they were talking about implementing face masks, and I told you about how they closed down gyms and non-essential shops, and like McDonald's has been shut for like 6 weeks, which is crazy, which is like unheard of. I need a Big Mac, you know.
I know what I'm doing today then.
Here is the Big Mac box. This is my Big Mac. Hey Ty, how'd you like my Big Mac? Pretty good.
You, my friend, are a twat.
All right, see, there we go. I didn't even know that. I know that your brother is living in Wales, and you probably know a little bit of what he's been talking to you about the shutdown and lockdown in Wales. Because again, believe it or not, Wales is slightly different to England. We have our own government here, which I was going into. But what is it like in Australia?
Pretty chill. Basically, the only things that shut are really pubs and hotels. They are saying obviously only go out for essential shops and only one person per household, but honestly, I don't think people are really taking that on board because there's still a lot of cars out on the road. But then at the same time, we have some of the lowest numbers in the world over, and they are starting to open stuff back up now. So I can now travel around the country. In the Northern Territory, they just announced they're reopening pubs.
What's the Northern Territory, mate?
It's a state at the top of Australia, in between Western Australia and Queensland. You'll just put up an image, which I will supply to you stating what the NT is.
All right, so this is gonna be great. I only know about New South Wales. I don't know about Tasmania, and then
Okay.
and then I know Western Australia is with Perth, right?
Yeah.
And that's its own territory as well.
That's a state, not a territory.
See, I know quite a lot about America and American states. I know nothing. Like, where it comes, I would like to believe, which is so self-pretentious and shit, that I'm kind of smart when it comes to geography. But Australia, to me, it's its own separate.
It's just this foreign place.
To me, yeah, which is great because I love being mates with you, and I like being I like seeing you as one of my best friends.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
I've said
of
to
course.
many people is because if I ever got a question or just something I need to talk about Australia or just the Southern Hemisphere in general, which is I know it's a big span, but like if you need anything to do with America or like North America, especially with Canada and America, or like the United States, you can come to me because I could pretty much. Well,
Basically, tell me, yeah.
we had a trip planned for this summer, which is now being fucked due to the coronavirus and because lack of planning. I mean, it's 50-50 to be honest.
Yeah, but mainly the coronavirus.
It is because well, I had flights booked and I was telling you about the flights that I've booked,
Yeah.
and I was just expecting to come over and we would have planned around the shit that I was doing because I was going to to the viewers, I go to America every summer for like 3 months to work with family and things. And Walshy was going to come out and we're going to travel around, go to Comic-Con and things, but because of the COVID-19 virus, flights got cancelled. It's just been a sore subject.
Yeah, it's pretty shit.
It is. It's really shit, to be honest.
Yeah, back to Australia. So yeah, for the most part, it's still pretty chill. Like, I can still go out and do a shop, and nobody will think past it. I was just watching a thing today. They're starting to reopen beaches during the week, and they've announced 2 adults can visit any household.
Really?
Yeah, so basically I could go, so like say you were living here, I could come to your house without anyone questioning it.
That is crazy because I can't even visit my in. I do have.
Oh yeah, thanks for telling me, mate. Fuck you.
Hey. I wasn't going to put this in the podcast. I thought that our personal lives will. You know what? Let's cut that out, Tyler. Bleep a bunch of stuff. Put censor marks over our mouths, and
Yeah.
we'll start again now. I can't even visit family members. I can't like. I got moved out of England. I was in Canterbury, which I hope to go back to after the whole COVID-19 situation relaxes. But I had to physically move all my possessions. This is why my room's a bit like it looks quite tidy on camera, but there's angles of the camera that you can't see, and I've got everything with me because I had to move out of like it's like when you move back to Australia, you moved everything with you,
Yeah.
and it's a lot. You believe it or not, we're 22, and I have quite a lot of shit.
Yeah, no, I had to dump a lot of shit upon coming back. Mostly clothes. Apparently, I just hoarded t-shirts over the past 3 years.
I don't hoard t-shirts. I hoard something way worse than just cloth. I hoard like ornaments and shit.
Oh god, I'm the worst for that.
So that's clutter.
Which you don't need, but you're just like, oh, it looks cool, so I'll keep it. But it doesn't look cool.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, just at hand, right? I'm in my bedroom, right where I sleep. My bed's right there. Gonna go sleep there in a few hours because obviously, like I said earlier, it's like, well, right now it's 3:20 in the morning, my time. Arms full away. That is a bulb to a headlight of a car, right? I can one up this one. Right next to that, I have a window switch. You don't even see the screen selection bit, and like Press that down, you know, window goes down. And you press it up, I guess, and the window goes up.
I mean, do you need that stuff?
I could tell you what these were from. My first car, Tyler, if you're good at post editing and stuff, you can ask me to do this stuff as well. Put a picture of my first car. This is what it's from. I've got the original wing mirror up on my like cupboard over there.
As you do.
I don't know. I just started taking it apart. I sold it. I sold that car. In fact, do you know I sold that car? We've known each.
What? I'm pretty sure I've been in that car with you.
The grey one.
Maybe not. I'm pretty sure when I was with you, I was in a red car and a blue car, I think.
Yeah. All right, Tyler. Red car, show it. Blue car, show it. Still have them cars, the red and the blue one, but the grey one, I got rid of it. That was the one I hinted at earlier. If I'm really feeling challenging and want to cut back to that, I remember the summer where I saved his life. I saved Joe's life in that car.
Yeah, no, I do remember you telling me that story.
But that's a story for another day. In fact, we've been recording now for 21 minutes. This is great. I didn't know we'd go this far flowing. This is me talking to you off cuff, off record.
Just because it's back and forth, that's why.
I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking, but that's because I'm quite nervous.
Yeah, no, I've noticed you talk a lot when you're nervous.
Thank you. I didn't tell him to say that, all right? I'm going to bleep that out. See? I wasn't lying. I'm going to bleep a lot of stuff out. I would like to keep quite secretive. Not secretive, but there's some things I wouldn't want everyone
I know what you mean, but I don't know what the word is. And I'm trying to think of the word.
Secure.
Yeah, basically that. It's just you want to keep it personal. Impersonal, I should say.
All right, I don't know who's going to view this podcast type thing. All right, so the last thing I have on the list, we've done an introduction. We said it's a pilot episode, I hope. We did. Said a few times that you're Australian, I'm British. How we know each other. We didn't really say how we know each other. We sort of just
we sort of did. I think to sort of fully understand that you have to bring Will into the thing and...
Yeah, so to the viewers, if we just cut into that, how we know each other, you'll find out in other podcasts. We're trying to leave this on a cliffhanger. It's our first one. What's the point of giving you all the juicy details in the first minute?
God, fucking rude.
Exactly. I've got something else on the list of notes that I've prepared. It says new things in our lives.
Not a whole lot.
I don't know. You've got a pretty dope beard. I shaved mine off like 2 weeks ago.
I'm just too lazy to shave it. I just have no need to shave it. To be quite honest with you.
The difference between our beards, like this is 2 weeks now, and I can see that I can grow a fucking Carol Baskin, fuck you, Joey Exotic, fucking. In fact, I've got a picture somewhere. Tyler, if you're confident in the morning when you're editing this, put it in. If not, respect.
If you don't do it, you're a little bitch.
All right, Tyler, definitely put it in now. I can grow the handlebars.
Oh God.
I don't know.
Sounds very funny.
You can see this when it comes live. It's pretty dope. Anything you want to talk about? I feel like I've just been talking. Sorry, man.
Or on the side note of bids, did you see when he had the pedo stash? He shaved everything but left a mustache.
Is this the guy that walked to Walkabout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. He's dating.
No,
that's Jake. Oh fuck.
Boy.
Yeah. All right. Again, Ty, you've got to like me looking at me. The names, man. The last names. Get rid of. Beep them. We don't want people trying to search these people up. It's like going, yo, I'll call him Walshy and his name's Jake. I'm not going. His name.
But then he just said it.
Hey. I haven't, because I'll beep it. I've got a lot of beeps to do. I'm probably going, for fuck's sake, Tyler. Why?
Why did you do this to yourself?
Why
I didn't realise how many bleeps we had to do.
are you doing this? Got any plans for the rest of the day? Because
I'm gonna go for a walk and then do some study, and that's about it. What about you? Are you just gonna? What are you doing tomorrow?
right, so tomorrow's Saturday.
Yeah, because it's my Friday, so.
It's my Friday too. It's 3:30 on a Friday morning. Hopefully after we get done with this, I'll stop recording. Mutually shift through this footage. Stop point the best bits of it. Hopefully I know I'm speaking too much. Probably put a disclaimer saying I'm nervous. It'll get better. And go to sleep.
Yeah.
I haven't got much planned. This quarantine thing. I have assignments. I'm probably looking more tired now.
I mean, you don't look that tired, to be honest.
I feel it.
Yeah.
No,
I think one thing I will do today is buy a Big Mac and then just record me eating it just to rub it in.
if you record it, save the recording.
And then we'll put it into the podcast. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my lunch then.
Well, we've been talking for half hour now.
Due to the way time works, if it's 4 p.m. for you and it's like 10 p.m. for me or some shit, that is the perfect time because it's not too late and it's not too early for both of us.
Sure, and we could both start drinking at that time.
True. Except I can't drink because of these. Bleep
Yeah.
that one in. But yeah.
Yo, beep that, Tyler. But we'll talk about that in the future.
Yes, that is a good topic for conversation. That's a fantastic story.
Yo, that's a
For
great
another
time.
episode.
I'm just gonna tell myself. Yo, listeners that have made it this far in the podcast, that's Jake. We've been talking shit. I'm very nervous. I talk a lot when I'm nervous. Hopefully, you get to hear his lovely accent a little bit more because he's from Aussie land, which is the criminals from Britain. Of course, you know that. I don't know why I'm talking to you like you're 5. Like, comment, subscribe. If this has 1 like, just 1 simple like, not from our channel, because we have the opportunity to like our own stuff, we'll make another one.
Yep. And then if you subscribe, we might consider making one after that.
You know, so this benefits you as much as it does for us.
It's a pretty fair deal, I think.
Exactly. We'll actually make an agenda and talk about things instead of trying to do a weird pilot episode at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we'll definitely find a better time.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to stop recording that.
Yeah.